there's a place, a school, an institution where a professor resides. Listen to words of Professor Buitron.
We're back on another Monday to answer some questions, and one of the questions that was asked is very simple. The question is, what's the difference between the sport and the street? Well, let me tell you, there is a huge difference between the sport and the street. But there's not really that much besides within the training. Many individuals need to understand that for you to be able to defend yourself or to fight in the street, you have to know basics. Basics that are taught in the sport, basics that are taught in your class, basics that are taught every time you come to class, how to jab, how to move, how to do a fuerte, how to learn how to control your center line, your power. Those skills, that technique level, is taught in the class. And it's the basics for the street or the basics for the sport. But there's a part that just divides. And that road separates, and it goes to the ring and it goes to the sport. And you can't have one without the other in the realm of the French martial arts, in the realm of Savate, Dancerous Savate. You need to learn that. And why do you need to learn that? Because if you do not know how to throw a punch correctly or a kick correctly, believe me, you're not going to be able to defend against a kick, use a kick, or understand the angle, the speed that these kicks and hits are coming from. So it's an interesting question. And it's a very interesting way for the science that we adore, right? Because you cannot have one without the other. You have to have the sport for the street. Now, let me look at this and kind of explain this. When you build somebody for competition, you can have a great jam-packed club of fighters, but you know how many fighters for the event, for an average, for Savate, you're going to get competitors? For every 10 students that just train in Savate, you're going to get one competitor. So if you have 100 students, you have 10 competitors. Sure, you're going to have sparring partners. You're going to have people that are going to be involved with the sport, because it's a beautiful sport. There's a lot of mechanics involved within the sport. You need officials, you need seconds, you need so much just to go inside. So there's a lot of elements in there. But, how can I say? You can't have one without the other. And within that question, people say, what is the difference between Savate to other martial arts? Well, number one, within class, it's very much just like boxing. Even though boxing's a little bit more solitary in motion than in boxe française Savate or in Savate in the school, right, setting. You always have a partner. You're always training. You're always on your toes. You always learn that. So it changes a little bit. Boxing's a little bit more solitary. The gyms of boxing kind of change a little bit more than those of Savate, in this essence of, in boxing, you have to go by yourself, hit the bag, then a coach will come over and say, do jab cross now, I'll come back and check you out in 10 more minutes. So you're more of a loner in boxing, more so than you are in Box and Says Savate. But you're still there. Why? Because once you hit the ring, you know, you're going to understand that there's a lot of truths that are going to be told to you. Okay? And how can I explain truths? The truth of the matter is, once you start competing, and once you acknowledge that you want to travel the road of the pugilist, go inside the square circle, and understand that you have to train by yourself, you'll become that loner. And many in Savate, many start off and don't get past the second glove. Blue, green, red, like I said, like black belt, white, yellow, silver. It changes. Most silver gloves were in the ring, the time frame that I was in. We, at one particular time or another, we were part of the ring. We were in the ring. So it changes the dynamics. Huh? It produces a different sort of character in the person, which I look at, especially within class and some of the students that come back, and what it produces is called dependability. And dependability is what the essence of a saboteur. I'd rather have one dependable friend than 15 that say I'll be there in 10 minutes and they never show up. And that's what a saboteur is a dependable person. Now those that travel within the realm of Savate, and you're going through that, they start becoming dependable. The higher up you go, you understand that you're part of a unity of not only a sport, of an art that encompasses a lot of people worldwide. And that is a difference. You see, everybody's dependable that I know in Savate. And that's a part of the personality that saboteurs build. And in society, you need that, because you need workers that are dependable. You need people that are going to be dependable. You need understanding of that dependability, especially if I have another job and I have employees. I want employees that are dependable. So those are things that somebody is learning and is building within Savate. But back to the question of what's the difference between the ring and the street. It's both a fight. Both a fight. In the ring, you can get killed. In the ring, you can get hurt. In the street, you can get killed. In the ring, you can get hurt. What's the difference in the street and not in the ring? You do not have a referee that's going to stop you. One that's going to say, enough's enough, stop, count. All right? I do not condone fighting in the street. But also I do not condone a person being a coward. And you can't have one without the other. And I've had many students come and say, oh, teach us advanced techniques. And that puts me into another question. And our question is, how do you teach? Well, you have to teach basics. A person has to know basics throughout. Then you have to learn intermediate techniques. And of course, you have to learn advanced techniques. That's just a book from Savate. Now imagine encompassing the other appendage and concurrent disciplines of lutte parisienne, of panache, of Gan within the saboteur. Then you have a very capable man. And that's what I guess separates us from others, is that the silver gloves that I've produced, they're very capable. They're very capable in a situation where it requires to be truthful. And if that happens, I know very well that my saboteurs, the ones that became silver gloves, will be capable enough to clear that predicament that they're in. Now, back to the way the question was formatted. What is the difference? Difference is the same. The fuerte to the legs, the fuerte to the leg. Across to the face, across to the face. You have to understand how each one works, and the only way you're going to learn how to do it correctly is when you come to class, go in the ring, and apply that. And that changes the parameters of those who are truthful about learning and those who are pretenders to learn. And I call the school the SAL, as my professor Richard Sila used to say, is the moment of truth. If you're able to cross from there and put on the gloves and be there every day and smile at each other, it's because you like it. It's because that's the moment of truth, that you've passed that barrier and you can confront anything that you can, problem solve your way out. So hopefully I answered your question, and that question was, what is the difference between the street and the ring within Savate, Savate Française, Dance for Savate, the French martial arts? And the answer that I will tell you is, you can't have one without the other. You have to be tested. But I'd rather to have my students get tested inside the school than outside. But I know that at a certain level, they're very capable of taking care if that final exam comes in at the end of the night when they're walking their girlfriend home. And you have to understand that you teach correctly, you teach truthfully, you teach to expand another person for them to learn, and for them to have the ability to understand that in case they need this, they're able to perform and they're capable enough to walk home. So hopefully I answered your question. Please hit like, subscribe, ask questions, send messages. We've gained a lot of momentum. We've done some milestones. People are not only from here, from internationally, are now clicking on, and which is fun to see. Remember, I'm teaching you all. I teach Savate the way I was taught, and hopefully I can implement something, impress you enough, just like those professors impressed me when I was learning and guided me through the whole thing. So with that being said, until next time, and we're going to start another playlist, and we're going to start putting tactics that you can use with Savate, with whichever way you can go, whether it's in the ring or in the street. Until next time, much peace.
Come train at the best-kept secret of Laredo, Buitron Academy, 956-401-4868, Savate.biz.